Hey everybody, just want to give you kind of a heads up. We're going to post the Coach's Corner a little early because we've got senior night and we want everybody to be able to see senior night all across the country that follow us. So make sure you're paying attention. The Coach's Corner will run several times. So Mr. Frost, don't worry, you're going to get to see senior night live and direct right there on your own device. Thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate our sponsors. Go Bayhawks.
Experience and trust has made Lewis Auto and Residential Glass the Northwest's leading choice since 1929. Whether it's on-the-spot rock chip repair or replacing your windshield, we have been trained and certified to strict national standards to ensure your safety. Our residential division offers the latest in vinyl windows, showers, mirrors, cut, and custom glass. Locally owned and operated since 1929, Lewis Auto and Residential Glass in Bellingham, Linden, and Mount Vernon.
Hey, welcome back. Really want to get fired up about this Coach's Corner. We have got Coach Leonard and he's fired up about this week. So make sure that you watch us and subscribe and be a part of exactly what we want here at Bayhawkville. I'm getting teased from behind the camera, which I love as well because I am focused. Two things. One, I want to thank our sponsors. We could not do this without you. If you'd like to be a part of our program, we're looking at doing some basketball. We don't know exactly what we're going to do basketball-wise, but we're looking to do some basketball after football's over. But we've got a lot of football left. This is only week 5. We've got 5 more weeks after this. Senior night is going to be tomorrow night. Got to have a big presentation. Got a special guest that's going to be behind the mic because I'm going to spend time with my family. It's senior night, so I won't be doing the entire broadcast. I'll be doing some of the broadcast, but Rick Todd will be doing the live broadcast from the press box. Can't give Brock the night off because I got to have a guy that's going to do the technical side of it. The second thing, don't forget next week is homecoming. So come out in your red and white. Be a part of our program. Come and see us. Be there. Have some signs. Cheer for your favorite Bayhawk. We'll see you next week. We'll see you tomorrow night. Thanks for coming.
I'm Julio Rodriguez and I'm from the Dominican Republic. Making it to the big leagues has been so exciting. I love playing baseball in my new home. And in the new city, it's great to find people that you can trust, that treat you right, and that's what I found with the people at Reardon Auto Group. They spoke my language and they treated me like a star even before my first hit in the show.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate all of our sponsors. We're here for number 5, Coach's Corner. And Coach, welcome back. Thanks for being with me.
I'm glad to be here, Mike. It's another great week for football.
Let's do what we usually do. Let's talk about last week. Last week was amazing. I mean, it was crazy in the broadcast that we did. I was talking, boy, can we just hold on. I mean, I have a young guy that helps me, Eddie, and he works with the Bellingham Bells, and he's an old Baker guy. He kind of followed us over, and he's a special kid and does a great job, and he calls it as it is. And he was concerned that you weren't going to make it through the second half.
So now this makes a lot of sense, Mike, that Eddie's from Mount Baker, because I watched the replay and I heard run the ball a lot, even though we kind of had a record-setting night through the air. It was a record-setting night on all accounts. Josh Tolles ties a Bellingham record, 12 receptions in a game. Josh is second on Bellingham history of 355 yards on 23 of 30 passing. He had 5 touchdowns. White Stephen's debut did not disappoint in any way. He's a special player. Yeah. Jordan Stone does something that's never happened at Bellingham, 2 defensive touchdowns. Elias from the defensive end position goes at 13 and a half tackles. I mean, it was just our offensive line. I don't think Josh had to wash his uniform all night. The offensive line kept him clean. It was just an overall great performance. I know everybody was holding their breath at halftime when we were up 21-0 because we've been.
Were you?
I wasn't. There was a different feel.
Yeah.
It's a much different feel. The confidence where we're at right now with this team is night and day than we were a couple weeks ago. We're kind of riding high right now. I know it's a weird thing to say for a 1-3 team, but we're a 1-3 team that with just a couple bounces and a couple less turnovers could be 4-0.
Yeah.
So we're feeling really good about going into this week against LaConner.
Okay, let's talk about 2 things. One, Wyatt Stephens. Kid comes out of the woodwork. gets eligible and absolutely just by himself just out sprinted the entire defense.
Wyatt is a special player. I knew Wyatt's talents when he was an 8-year-old, younger than these guys behind me. I tried to get him to play tackle football, never wanted to, played a lot of flag football, but he's an exceptional basketball player, great track athlete, great lacrosse player. He runs the 100, I think, about 11 flat or sub 11, which is phenomenal. He's equivalent to probably around 4.5, 4.6 speed. And you just can't teach speed. And he's a heck of an athlete. If you saw the end around that was called back, that was amazing. We quickly learned on a tunnel screen in that end around that he's also got physical toughness.
Yep.
He's going to be a really, really special player and a great addition to our team and to our already pretty deep receiving arsenal with Bly Henderson and Josh Toll. And Gabe Van Hofwagen has 20 receptions on the season at tight end. I love our receiving core right now. I love our offense. We're putting up over 400 points a game. I'm sorry, 400 yards a game.
Yeah.
Not
almost
points.
400 points.
No. Maybe this week. I'm just kidding. But
maybe.
We're putting up 400 yards a game. I think we got to be one of the top offenses in the county right now.
Yeah. You talked about the Stone Cold kid. I mean, that kid is just amazing. A highlight that runs over in my head is him just chucking the quarterback out of the way so he could scoop the ball and step across the goal line. I mean,
Jordan Stone plays with an intensity that borderline is angry. He plays angry. He basically, even with his own teammates, he's like, no one's getting this football but me. I'm going to make sure I take the quarterback, throw him out of the way. Yeah. And I'm sorry, Hunter Bryant Pearson. You're not getting the football. This one's mine.
It's mine. Yep.
And I was talking to the coaches today at practice, at walkthrough, and as dynamic as our offense is, our defense is just as good or better. And Coach Jacks has done a phenomenal job with our defense, and we're just clicking on all cylinders right now. And I think that on both sides of the ball, we're gonna be a tough team. We're gonna be a tough team to beat the rest of the way through.
Yeah, your running game too. Frost was just unstoppable. I mean, he ran over people. He was Frost of at the very beginning. I don't know if he was feeling better, if he was healed a little bit, if his confidence came back. I know the line blew some huge holes, big enough to drive semi trucks through.
Our offensive line was special. Both our run blocking and our pass pro was just absolutely outstanding. I watched that game about 4 more times on Huddle than I watched your broadcast because I love getting the commentary. It brings some excitement to watching a game over and over again. But I was watching where Joshua was literally going. You could watch him go through his progressions with the way his head was moving, and that's just kind of. I mean, you give Josh Leonard that kind of pass protection. I mean, it's over for it. I mean, you can't cover our receivers that long, and it was just a special. And Frost is Frost. Who in the world would want to be hit by that kid?
No, not me.
I mean, 245 pounds running downhill on you, and he's just a special player. And poor number 6 playing corner.
Cornerback.
He leveled him first, and then number 6 gets up, and he rolled his eyes every time he had to line across from Wyatt Steffen, and he's like, "What am I supposed to do now?
You can't stop
I got hit by a train, and now I gotta guard this Ferrari out here." So it was a special night.
You made a comment about it earlier. I talked about it on the broadcast, during the broadcast, and I've been around you a long time, but I've been around sports a long time. You had the look last week. I mean, Bobby Knight says there is no such thing as a game face. But I really, as I watched practice last week and watched you and your coaching staff, you had a different demeanor last week. Your guys came with a different demeanor last week. I mean, it wasn't like it had been the last 3 weeks. Am I close?
No, you're right. You're spot on that, Mike. We had a focus that week. We knew that. South Whidbey's not a pushover team.
No.
They were a top 10 team. They were a playoff team last year. They were beating up on good teams last year. They smoked Granite Falls. They beat up Cedar Park Christian. They beat teams, and them and Kings went to the playoffs. They put 50 on us last year, and I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember those things. All right, I remember when I'm throwing passes with 10 minutes left and we're up by 40. I remember those things, and so that sticks in my mind. But we were laser focused, and we fed off it. So much of whatever you're coaching, whether it's high school or whether it's the young guys, it's confidence.
Yep.
And the guys had confidence, they had focus, and it just builds. You see how the avalanche happens, how the snowball happens, where it just keeps gaining momentum. And then when you get a couple scores on defense and then you're shutting guys down and we're making big hits and the crowd gets excited about a Frost running over somebody or a big 40-yard touchdown through the air, you build on that.
Yeah.
And the guys were just locked in. The coaches were locked in. They did a heck of a job. Special teams, we were great in all facets of the game.
Yeah.
And we were just played a complete game. I see a very similar thing happen tomorrow night.
Yeah, so do I. So let's talk a little bit about LaConner. They're a small school. I got their roster today. Not a lot of big guys on it. I think they got one guy 280 who's a sophomore, or So tell me what's going to happen.
Well, I'll start with a little bit of a history. So this is the third time we've played LaConner. We played Bellingham played LaConner in 2014, 2015, and Bellingham has not won a game against LaConner
that's
yet.
right.
They're 0-2.
Yeah,
So LaConner's we're due.
Yep.
And yeah, LaConner does have a smaller roster. They've had some trouble getting some guys out, but like any other team, we've watched film on them. There's a few guys on that team that are very good athletes.
Yep.
They're good athletes, just they don't have the depth of some of the teams that we've played, and that's something that may be one of their shortfalls, but they're going to have athletes, and we just can't come in thinking we're going to steamroll them. We have to have that same laser focus, that same 1-0 mentality every week, and if we have that, I think the game takes care of itself.
Yeah. Last week we talked a little bit about the fight song, so I was a week ahead of myself. So homecoming is next week, right? So next week. This week is senior night.
Right.
So next week we're going to do the fight song. I'm going to get the seniors together. We're going to do that. We got some stuff going on with senior night tomorrow night. We're going to try to tape all of that as well. Tell me a little bit about your seniors. You got a boatload of seniors. I mean, I just was in at Pizza, talking to them, and you got a boatload of seniors.
Yeah, this is a special group of seniors. I mean, from your son, Jesse Harwood, one of my favorite players who I used to line up against in flag football. I coached in youth football. I've coached in baseball, and just one of my favorite kids of all time. He's just a great person. I mean, we have like 19. I probably have to put my son in there, don't I?
Yeah, you do.
Josh
Well,
Leonard.
yeah.
This is a special season for me, and it doesn't even matter the wins and losses.
Nope.
It matters how the boys are playing and how how that brotherhood is growing. And Josh has been so welcome by these Bellingham players. It's a blessing for me, because that was one of the concerns I had when he decided he wanted to transfer and play at Bellingham. But he has his family here. Jesse's a big part of that. Rourke O'Malley, just a steady, continued guy. Holden Bates is a special player. I mean, you think Wyatt Steffen's fast. Yeah, Holden Bates is right there with him. Wyatt coming in, going into his second game. Josh Toll, I've coached Josh Toll since he was 8 years old. He's like another one of my kids. All these guys are like my kids, especially the ones I've coached forever. Josh Toll, some of the other guys coming through. We just have a great group of seniors. I'm just really, really impressed with what they bring to the table. We'll have a great opportunity to recognize them tomorrow night.
Yeah,
and families will be out there. We ordered the flowers. We got everything ready. So yeah, we'll have the banners up. It's going to be a special night.
It's going to be a good night. And that's one of the things you've really brought to the program that I have seen is you've brought kind of that stepped up part of the program. The banners out front of the school, the band playing out in front of everybody. I mean, you've got some really important, the cheer squad, the dance team, everybody that wants to be a part of it. One of the comments I made on the broadcast last week was the student section was going crazy. I was just impressed.
Haven't seen that in a while, too.
Long time.
And I am not saying fans are fickle, but I will say that, and again,
fickle.
You've been at Mount Baker.
Yep.
I've seen it at Squalicum with Josh before. When you're winning, everything's great and people show up.
Yep.
But what I saw the other day was I saw student section getting into it, cheering, just having a great time. And that's what we want to bring back to Bellingham High School for football. We want to bring that excitement. I expect it to be full tomorrow night and louder than ever. But I also want to take this opportunity to thank you, and I want to thank Steve and Shelly Avery and the people who are doing the things behind the scenes to keep this stuff, with the banners and with the broadcasts and what a fun time to be. I'm having the time of my life.
Yeah.
And I get to coach my son and all the boys I consider to be my sons. And it's just been one heck of a year, and we're not even halfway done yet.
No, and that's the funny thing. Everybody's like, it's senior night already. We got family flying in. Brock's going to run down and pick people up at the airport. It's still halfway through the season, but because of the way our home schedule works, it's that time. And then homecoming next week, and then we may have one more game. I kind of heard.
We will have a Week 10 game. It will be a home game. Right now, it's scheduled to be Sultan. We don't know where Sultan's going to be at. I've heard anything from Sultan to Squalicum. I don't know where we're going to be at, but I know we will have a Week 10 game.
Okay, very good.
At home.
At home.
Yep.
At Civic.
Yep.
Yeah, very good. Any injuries, tidbits, anything that you're concerned about for tomorrow night's ball game?
No, we have, like any other program, we have a next man up mentality. Next guy comes up ready to play. And Owen Campbell had a little ankle sprain earlier. He's been checked out by the doctor, team doctor Ben Hoffwagen, and he'll be good to go next week. It's just a sprain. Rourke O'Malley's a little, but we'll tape him up and he'll get some time. He's one of our senior leaders. We want to see him out there on senior night. Yeah. But other than that, I think we're pretty healthy right now. That's a great thing. Knock on wood. We want to continue that and be ready to go because we're excited about LeConner tomorrow, but I'm not looking past. I know Coopville's next week, but all I can think about right now is LeConner.
Yeah. Coach, we really appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time. Always love it.
One shout out to Tyler Frost. He's one of your biggest fans out there. So Tyler, go get him tomorrow, all right?
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, we'll be right back after this commercial message. That's Coach Corner. That's Coach Leonard. We love him. Thanks for being with us. Hey, welcome back. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Lewis Auto Glass, Linden, Mount Vernon, and especially on State Street in Bellingham. Thank you so much, Lewis Auto Glass, for being a part of our Bayhawk broadcast. M&B Broadcasting Productions appreciates what you've done for us this year, and we hope that you stay and watch our commercials because they're awesome. We love being able to pull those commercials and put them on the air for you. If you've got a rock chip, you've got a window that needs to be fixed, like I do, call Lewis Auto Glass. Have them come out, give you an estimate. They'll take good care of you there at Lewis Auto Glass. Also, Reardon's Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler, Ram of Marysville. Come down and see Chris and Ryan and Big Jim and Potts. See those guys there in Marysville, as well as our Bellingham store. Come and see Seth and Dan. And don't forget to see some of the others, because those young guys, they need your love too. So thank you so much for our sponsors. We appreciate it. All the sponsors in the program, our lucky number sponsors. Don't forget to keep those programs. They're going to be keepsakes. Mark Skolton's in the middle of them. Thanks so much, everybody.